Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much. We're going to start, as usual, with the prayers. Thank you once again, everyone. We tune up our mind to do the prayers in recollecting the qualities of the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, and then cultivate the right intention with dedicating our effort for the benefit of all sentient beings. So, Oyenda Buddha Dhamma Sangha Ajere Vyede Ladam Bhavache Ajevandala Ajare Padavadruvebe Enda Buddha Dhamma Sangha Ajere Vyede Ladam Bhavache Ajevandala Ajare Padavadruvebe Enda Buddha Dhamma Sangha Ajere Vyede Ladam Bhavache Ajevandala Ajare Padavadruvebe. May all beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they never be parted from happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, and never. May all beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they never part from happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, and never. May all beings have happiness and cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and a cause of suffering. May they never part from happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, and never. May all beings happiness and the cause of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never from the happiness that knows no suffering. May they dwell equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to the according to the intelligence and predisposition of it, the Dharma, great love and common goals. So thank you once again. We're continuing the 17th chapter called Conclusion. But on page 599, paragraph 25, the preamble of the exposition on the 12 links. Now, in teaching this dependent origination, the Blessed One has set forth the text in the way, beginning with ignorance as condition, there are formations. Its meaning should be commented on by one who keeps within the circle of the Buddhagosha, who does not misinterpret the teachers, who does not advertise his own standpoint, who does not quarrel with the standpoint of others, who does not distort sutras, who is in agreement with the Vinaya, who looks in the principal authorities. who illustrate the law, who takes up the meaning, repeatedly reverting to that same meaning, describing in various different ways. And it is inherently difficult to comment on the dependent origination, as the ancients have said. The truth, a being, rebirth, linking, and the structure of conditions are four things very hard to see, and likewise difficult to teach. Therefore, considering that to comment on the dependent origination is impossible except for those who are expert in the text, whilst I would now begin the comment on the structure of conditions, I find no footing to support and seem to founder in a sea. However, many mode of teaching graces the dispensation here, and still the former teacher's way is handled down unbrokenly. Therefore, on both of these relying for my support, I now begin its meaning to elucidate. Listen, therefore, attentively. For this has been said in the by the former teachers, whoever learns alertly this discourse will go from excellence to excellence, and when perfected, he will then escape beyond the vision of the King of Death. Brief exposition. So, as regard to the passages that begin with ignorance as a condition, their formation, to start with, 1, as different ways of teaching, 2, the meaning, 3, the character, 4, the single fold, and so on, 5, as to defining of the character factors, the exposition should be known. Here, number 1, herein are different ways of teaching. The Blessed One's teaching of the dependent origination is fourfold, namely 1, from the beginning, 2, from the middle, up to the end, and 3, from the end, and 4, from the middle down to the beginning. It is like 4 creepers gatherers' way of seizing a creeper. Just as one of the 4 men gathering creepers sees only the root of the creepers first, and after cutting it at the root, he pulls it all out and takes away and uses it. So the Blessed One teaches the dependent origination from the beginning up to the end. Thus, so bhikshus, with ignorance as condition, their formation, with birth as condition, aging and death. 2. Just as another of the 4 men sees the middle of the creeper first, and after cutting it in the middle, he pulls out only the upper part and takes it away and uses it. So the Blessed One teaches it from the middle up to the end. Thus, when he is delighted with welcomes, remains committed to that feeling, then delight arises in him. Delight in feelings is clinging. With this clinging as condition, there is becoming. With becoming as condition, birth. 3. Just as another of the 4 men sees the tip of the creeper first, and seizing the tip, he follows it down to the root and takes all it away and uses it. So the Blessed One teaches it from the end down to the beginning, thus with birth as condition, aging and death. So it was said, but is there aging and death as birth as condition or not? Or how is it there? There is aging and death with birth as condition. So we think, Venerable Sir, with becoming as condition, birth, so it was said. With ignorance as condition, there is formation, so it was said. But are there formation with ignorance as condition or not? Or how is it here? There are formations with ignorance as conditions, so we think, Venerable Sir. 4. Just as the one of the 4 men sees only the middle of the creeper first, and first cutting it in the middle and tracing it down as far as the root, he takes it away and uses it. So the Blessed One teaches it from the middle down to the beginning. Thus, these 4 nutriments, bhikshus, what is their source? What is their origin? From what are they born? By what are they produced? These 4 nutriments are craving as their source, craving as the origin, they are born from craving, produced by craving. Craving, what is the source? Feeling, contact, the sixfold base, mentality, materiality, consciousness, formation. What is their source? By what are they produced? Formation have ignorance as the source. They are produced by ignorance. Why does he teach this? It does. Because the dependent origination is wholly beneficial, and because he has himself acquired elegance in instructing. For the dependent origination is entirely beneficial, starting from one of the four starting points. It leads only to the penetration of the proper way. And the Blessed One has acquired elegance in instructing. It is because he has done so through possession of four kinds of perfect confidence and four discrimination, and by achieving the four profundity that he teaches the law of various methods. But it should be recognized in particular, that when he sees that people susceptible of teaching are confused about the analysis of the causes of the process of becoming, he employs his teaching of its forwards, starting from the beginnings, and in order to show that the process carries on according to its own peculiar laws, and for the purpose of showing the order of arising. 3. And it should be recognized that when he surveys the world as fallen upon trouble in the way stated, this world has fallen upon trouble. It is born, ages, dies, passes away, and reappears. He employs his teaching of it backwards, starting from the end, in order to show the laws of governing the various kinds of suffering, beginning with aging and death, which he discovered himself in the early stages of penetration. And 4, it should be recognized that he employs his teaching of it backwards, from the middle down to the beginning, in order to show how the succession of cause and fruit extends back to the past existence, and again forwards from the past, in accordance with the definition of the nutriment as a source of ignorance. And 2, it should be recognized that he employs his teaching of it forward, from the middle up and end, in order to show how the future existence follows through rebirth, from arousing in the present cases for rebirth in the future. Of these methods of presentation, that cited here should be understood to be that stated in forward order, starting from the beginning, in order to show people susceptible of teaching who are confused about the laws of process of the becoming, that the process carries on according to its own peculiar laws, and for the purpose of showing the order of arising. But why is ignorance stated at the beginning here? However, then, as ignorance, the causeless root cause of the world, like the primordial essence of those who assert the existence of a primordial essence, it is not causeless, for a cause of ignorance is stated thus: with the arising of cankers, there is the arising of ignorance. But there is a figurative way in which it can be treated as the root cause. But what way is that? When it is made to serve the starting point in an exposition of the sound of the becoming, for the Blessed One gives the exposition of the round which one of the two things as the starting point, either ignorance, according it is said, no first beginning of ignorance as made known. Bhikshus, therefore, which therefore was there was no ignorance, and after which there came to be ignorance. And while it is said, Bhikshus, nevertheless, it is made known that ignorance has a specific condition of or craving or becoming, according as it is said, no first beginning of craving for becoming is made known, because before which there was no craving for becoming, and after which there came to be craving for becoming. And while it is said, Bhikshus, nevertheless, it is made known that craving is for becoming has its own specific condition. But why does the Blessed One give the exposition of the round with those two things as a starting point? Because they are the outstanding causes of karma that leads to happy and unhappy destinies. Ignorance is an outstanding cause of karma that leads to unhappy destinies. Why? Because just as when a cow to be slaughtered is in the grip of the torment of burning with fire and belaboring with cudgels and being crazed with the torment, she drinks the hot water, although it gives no satisfaction and does her harm. So the ordinary man who is in a grip of ignorance performs karma of various kinds, beginning with killing living beings, that leads to unhappy destinies, although it gives no satisfaction because of burning of the defilements, and does him harm because it casts him into an unhappy destiny. But craving for becoming is an outstanding cause of karma that leads to happy destinies. Why? Because just as that same cow, through her craving for cold water, starts drinking cold water, which gives satisfaction and allays her torment, so ordinary man, in the grip of craving for becoming, performs karma of the various kinds, beginning with abstention of killing living beings that leads to happy destinies, and gives satisfaction because it is free from burning of defilements, and by bringing him to a happy destiny, allays the torment of suffering experienced in the unhappy destinies. Now, as regards these two states, there are starting points in exposition of the process of becoming in some instances. The Blessed One teaches Dharma based on the single one of these states. For instance, accordingly, bhikshus, formation have ignorance as their cause, consciousness has formation its cause, etc. Likewise, bhikshu, craving increases one who dwells seeing enjoyment in things productive of clinging. With craving as condition, there is clinging, and so on. In some instances, he does so based on both. For instance, so bhikshus, for the fool who is hindered by ignorance and tethered by craving, there arises this body. Now, this body with 6 internal bases and externally 6 bases due to mentality and materiality makes a duality. Due to this duality, there is contact as well as 6 pairs of the bases touched through which that fool feels pleasure and pain, and so on. Of these ways presentation, the cited here in the form of ignorance as condition, their formation should be understood as one based on a single state. This firstly is how the exposition should be known as on different ways of teaching. 2. As to the meaning of the words ignorance and so on, bodily misconduct, etc., for example, ought not to be found in the sense of being unfit to be carried out. The meaning is that it should not be permitted. It finds what ought not be to be found. Thus, it is ignorance. Conversely, good bodily conduct, etc., ought to be found. It does not find what ought to be found. Thus, it is ignorance. Also, it prevents knowing viditta, the meaning of collection in the aggregates, the meaning of actuating in the bases, the meaning of voidness in the elements, the meaning of predominance in the faculties, meaning of reality in the truth. Thus, it is ignorance, avidya. Also, it prevents knowing the meaning of suffering, etc., described in 4 ways of oppression, etc. Thus, it is ignorance. Through all kinds of generations, destinies, becomings, stations of consciousness, and abodes of beings in the endless round of rebirth, it derives beings on anatta vihariti samsara sate ana avapeti. Thus it is ignorance, avidya. Among women, men, etc., which are the ultimate sense of non-existent, it hurries on paramartha avijamenusu iti purisa disui avati. And amongst the aggregate, etc., which are existent, it does not hurry on vijamenesu pi kadadisu na javati. Thus, it is ignorance. Therefore, furthermore, it is ignorance because it conceals the physical basis and objects of eye consciousness, etc., and dependent origination and dependently originated states. That due to paticca, which fruit comes, is a condition. Pachaya, due to paticca, not without that, and the meaning is not dispensing with it. Comes means both arises and occurs. Furthermore, the meaning of condition is the meaning of help. It is ignorance that is a condition, thus it is ignorance as a condition, whence the phrase with ignorance as condition. Their form are formed, thus they are formations. Therefore, furthermore, formations are twofold, namely formations with ignorance as conditions, b. formation given in the text with the word formation. Here, the three, namely formation of merit, of demerit, and imperishable, and three, namely the bodily, the verbal, and mental formations, which make six formations with ignorance as condition. All these are simply mundane, profitable, and unprofitable volition. But b, these four, namely the one formation consisting of formed, the formation consisting of the karma formed, three, the formation consisting of act of karma forming by karma, and four, formation consisting of momentum, are kinds of formation that have come to in the text with the word formations. Formation here in one, all states with condition given in such passages as formations are impermanent are formations consisting of the formed. 2. In the commentaries, material and immaterial states of the three planes generated by karma are called formation consisting of karma formed. These are also included in the passage formations and are impermanent. But there is no instance in the text where they are found separately. 3. Profitable and unprofitable volition of the three planes is called formation consisting in the act of karma forming. It is found in the text in which passages as bhikshus, this man in his ignorance forms the formation of merit. 4. But it is bodily and mental energy that is called the formations consisting in momentum. This is given in the text in such passages as will, the having gone as far as impetus carried it, stood as though it were fixed. And not only these, but many other kinds of formations are given in the text in the word formation, in the way beginning when a bhikshu is attaining the cessation of perception and feeling. Friend Vikshaka, first his verbal formation ceases, then his bodily formation, then mental formation. But there is no formation among them not included by one formation consisting of the formed. What is said next after this in the rest of the exposition, beginning with formation as condition consciousness, should be understood in the way already stated. But as to these words not yet dealt with, it cognizes thus it is consciousness. It bends towards the object, namati, thus it is mentality. Nama, it is molested, thus it is materiality. It provides a range for its origin and leads on what is actuated. Thus it is the base. Ayatana. It touches, thus it is contact. It is felt, vidyati, thus it is feeling. It feels or it thirsts, paritasati, thus it is craving. It clings, thus it is clinging. It becomes and makes it become, thus it is becoming. The act of being born is birth, act of growing old is aging. By means of this they'll die, thus it is death. The act of sorrowing is sorrow, the act of lamenting is lamentations. It makes beings suffer, dukkayati, thus it is pain, dukkha, or it consumes in two ways. It means, by means of two moments of arising and presence, thus it is pain. The state of sad mind is grief. The great misery is despair. That there is means generated, and the words there is should be should be construed with all the terms, not only with these beginning with sorrow or otherwise. When ignorance as condition was said, it should not be evident what they did, but by construing it with the words there is or there are. Since ignorance as condition stands in, it is ignorance that it is a condition. Consequently, the defining of condition and the conditionality arising state is affected by the words with ignorance the condition they are formation, and so in such instance. Thus signifies the process described. By that he shows that it is with ignorance etc. as causes, and not with cessation by an overload, and so on. Of that aforesaid, whole, unmixed, entire, massive suffering, totality of suffering, not a living being, not pleasure, beauty, and so on. Arising, generating, there is brought about. This is how the exposition should be known here as to the meaning. Now, as to the characteristic of ignorance, etc., that is to say, ignorance has characteristic of unknowing. Its function is to confuse. It is manifested as concealing. Its proximate cause is cankers. Formation has the characteristic of forming. Their function is to accumulate. They are manifested as volition. Their proximate cause is ignorance. Consciousness has the characteristic of cognizing. Its function is to go before. It manifests itself as rebirth linking. Its proximate cause is formation, or its proximate cause is physical basis come object. Mentality has the characteristic of bending, namana. Its function is to associate. Its manifested as inseparability of its component, that is the three aggregates. Its proximate cause is consciousness. Materiality, rupa, has the characteristic of being molested. Its function is to be dispensed, to be dispersed. It is manifested as a morally indeterminate. Its proximate cause is consciousness. The sixfold base, ayatana, has the characteristic of accentuating. Ayatana, its function is to see, and so on. It is manifested as a state of physical basis and all. Its proximate cause is mentality and materiality. Contact has the characteristic of touching. Its function is impingement. It manifests itself as coincidence of the internal and external base and consciousness. Its proximate cause is the sixfold base. Feeling has the characteristic of experiencing. Its function is to exploit the stimulus of the objective field. It is manifest as a pleasure and pain. Its proximate cause is contact. Craving has the characteristic of being a cause that is of suffering. Its function is to delight. It is manifest as insatiability. Its approximate cause is feeling. Clinging has the characteristic of seizing. Its function is not to release. It is manifested as a strong form of craving and as false view. Its proximate cause is craving. Becoming has the characteristic of being karma and karma result. Its function is to make become and to become. It is manifested as profitable, unprofitable, and indeterminate. Its proximate cause is clinging. The characteristic of birth, etc., should be understood as stated in the description of the truths. This is how exposition should be known here as to character, etc. 4. As to singlefold, and so on. Here ignorance is singlefold, as unknowing, unseeing, delusion, and so on. It is twofold, as no theory or a wrong theory. Likewise, as prompted and unprompted. It is threefold, as associated with the three kinds of feeling. It is fourfold, of non-penetration of the four truths. It is fivefold, as concealing the danger of the five kinds of destinies. It should be however understood that all immaterial factors of the dependent origination have sixfold nature with respect to the six doors and object. Formations are singlefold, as states subject to cankers, states with the nature of the result, and so on. They are twofold, as profitable and unprofitable, likewise as limited and exalted, and inferior and medium, with certainty of wrongness and without certainty. They are threefold, as to the formation of merit and the rest. They are fourfold, as leading to the four kinds of generation. They are fivefold, as leading to the five kinds of destiny. Consciousness is singlefold, as mundane, resultant, and so on. It is twofold, as to with root cause and without root cause, and so on. It is threefold, as included in three kinds of becoming, as associated with three kinds of feeling, and as having no root cause, having two root cause, and having three root cause. It is fourfold and fivefold, respectively, according to generation and destiny. Mentality and materiality is singlefold, as dependent on consciousness and having karma as its condition. It is twofold, as having an object in the case of mentality and having no object in the case of materiality. It is threefold, as past, and so on. It's fourfold and fivefold, respectively, according to generation and destiny. The sixfold base is singlefold in the place of origin and meeting. It is twofold, as the sensitivity of primary elements and as consciousness of the sixth base, and so on. It is threefold, and having for its domain object fields that are contiguous, non-contiguous, and neither. It is fourfold and fivefold, respectively, as included in the three kinds in the kinds of generation and destiny. The singlefoldedness, etc., of contact should be understood in this way too. This is how the exposition should be known here, as to the singlefold, and so on. 5. As to defining of the factors, sorrow, etc., are stated here for the purpose of showing that the wheel of becoming never halts, for they are produced in the fool who is afflicted by aging and death, according to as it is said, the untaught ordinary man, bhikshus, on being touched by painful bodily feelings, sorrows, griefs, and laments, beating with his breast, he weeps and becoming which is distraught. And as long as these go on occurring, as long as does ignorance, so as the wheel of becoming renews its revolution. With ignorance as condition, there are formation and so on. That is why the four factors of the dependent origination should be understood as 12 by taking these that in sorrow, etc., along with aging and death, and as one summarization. This is how the exposition should be known here, as to defining of the character of factors. This, firstly, is the brief treatment. The following method follows is in detail. Detailed exposition. Ignorance. According to the Sutanta method, ignorance is unknowing about the four instances beginning with suffering. According to Abhidhamma method, is unknowing about the eight instances, that is to say, above mentioned four, together with four beginning with the past. For this is said herein, what is ignorance? It is unknowing about suffering, unknowing about origin of suffering, unknowing about the cessation of suffering, unknowing about the way leading to the cessation of suffering, unknowing about the past, unknowing about the future, and unknowing about the present and future, unknowing about specific conditionality and conditionally arising states. Herein, while ignorance about any instance that is not the true supermundane truths can also arise in as object, nevertheless, here it is only intended subjectively as concealment, for when thus arisen it keeps the truth of suffering concealed, preventing penetration of the true individual function of the characteristic of that truth. Likewise, the origin, cessation, and path, bygone 5 aggregates called past, coming 5 aggregates called future, both these together called past and future, and both specific conditionality and conditionally arisen states together called specific conditionality and conditionally arisen states, all of which it keeps beliefs concealed, preventing their true individual functions and characteristic being penetrated. Thus, this is ignorance. These are formations. That is why it is said it is unknowing about suffering, unknowing about the specific conditionality and conditionally arisen states. 2. Formations. The formations are 6 mentioned in brief above. Thus, the 3, namely formation of merit, etc., and 3, namely bodily formation, etc. But in detail, here the first 3 formations are 29 volitions. That is to say, the formation of merit consisting of the 13 volitions, counting the 8 sense sphere profitable volition that occur in giving, in virtue, etc., and the 5 fine material profitable volition that occur in development of meditation. Then the formation of demerit consisting of the 12 unprofitable volitions that occur in killing living beings, etc. Then formation of the unperturbable consisting of the 4 profitable volitions that associate with the immaterial sphere which occur in development of this meditation. As regard the other 3, bodily formation is bodily volition, verbal formation is verbal volition, and the mental formation is mental volition. This triad is mentioned in order to show that at the moment of the accumulation of karma and formation of merit, etc., occur in these three karma factors. For the 80 sense sphere profitable and 12 unprofitable volitions, making 20 are the bodily formation when they occur in the body door and produce bodily intimations. Those same volitions are called the verbal formation when they occur in the speech door and produce verbal intimation. But volition connected with the direct knowledge is not included here in these 2 cases because it is not a condition for resultant rebirth linking consciousness later. And like the direct knowledge volition, so also volition connected with the agitation is not included. Therefore, that too should not be included as a condition for rebirth linking consciousness. However, all these have ignorance as their condition, and all the 29 volitions are the mental formations when they arise in the mind or without originating either kind of intimation. So this triad comes within the first triad. Accordingly, as far as the meaning is concerned, ignorance can be understood as condition simply for formation of merit and so on. Herein, it might be asked, how can it be known that these formations have ignorance as the condition? By the fact that they exist when ignorance exists, but for when unknowing, in other words, ignorance of suffering, etc., is unabandoned in a man, owing firstly to his unknowing about suffering and about the past, etc., then he believes that the suffering of the round of rebirths to be pleasant, and he embarks upon the 3 kinds of formation which are the cause of that very suffering. Owing to his unknowing about suffering's origin, he embarks upon the formation that being subordinated to craving are actually the cause of suffering, imagining them to be cause of pleasure. And owing to this unknowing about the cessation of the path and the path, he misperceives the cessation of suffering to be in some particular destiny, such as Brahma world, that is not the fact, in fact, for cessation. He misperceives the path to cessation, believing it to consist in sacrifice, mortification for immortality, etc., which are not, in fact, the path of cessation. So, while aspiring to the cessation of suffering, he embarks upon the 3 kinds of formation in the form of sacrifice, mortification for immortality, and so on. Furthermore, his non-abandonment of that ignorance about 4 truths, in particular, prevents him from recognizing as suffering the kind of suffering called the fruit of merit, which is fraught with many dangers, beginning with birth, aging, aging, disease, death, and so he embarks upon the formation of merit, class as bodily, verbal, and mental formation in order to attain that kind of suffering, like one desiring celestial nymphs who jumps over a cliff. Also, not seeing how the fruit of merit reckoned as pleasure eventually breeds great distress owing to the suffering in its change, and that gives little satisfaction. He embarks upon the formation of merit of the kinds already stated, which is the condition for that very suffering in change, like a moth that falls into a lamp's flame, and like the man who wants the drop of honey and licks the honey smeared knife edge. Also, not seeing the danger in the indulgence of the sense desires, etc., with the result, wrongly perceiving pleasure and overcome by defilements, he embarks upon the formation of demerit that occurs in the three doors of karma, like a child who plays with filth, and like a man who wants to die and eats poison. Also unaware of the suffering due to formation and suffering in change, in karma result in the material sphere, owing to the perversion of the wrongly perceiving them as eternal, etc., he embarks upon the formation of the imperturbable, which is a mental formation, like one who has lost his way takes the road to a goblin city. So formation exists only when ignorance exists, not when it does not, and that is how it can be known that these formations have ignorance as the condition. This is said too. Not knowing bhikshus in ignorance, he forms the formation of merit, forms the formation of demerit, forms the formation of imperturbable. As long as bhikshus' ignorance is abandoned, the clear vision arisen, bhikshus with the fading away of ignorance and the arising of clear vision, he does not form even formation of merit. Here it might be said, let us then firstly agree that ignorance is a condition for formation, but it must now be stated for which formation and in which way it is a condition. Here is the reply. 24 formation conditions have been stated in the Blessed One as follows. The 21 conditions. 1. Root cause conditions. 2. Object conditions. 3. Predominant condition. 4. Proximity conditions. 5. Contiguity conditions. 6. Connaissance conditions. 7. Mutuality conditions. 8. Support conditions. 9. Decisive support conditions. 10. Pre-nascence conditions. 11. Post-nascence condition. 12. Repetition condition. 13. Karma condition. 14. Karma result condition. 15. Nutriment condition. 16. Faculty condition. 17. Jhana condition. 18. Path condition associated with the condition. 20. Dissociation condition. 21. Presence condition. 22. Absence condition. 23. Disappearing condition. 24. Non-appearance condition. 1. Here it is the root cause as a condition. Thus, it is root cause condition. It is by its being root cause, it is thus that it is a condition. What that is meant is that it is a condition owing to its status as root cause. The same method applies in the case of object condition and the rest. Herein, the cause hetu in terms of is a term for the part of the syllogism, for a reason and for a root. For with the words proposition, cause, hetu, middle of term, etc. In the world, it is a member of a syllogism that is called cause. But in the dispensation, in such passages, those states that are produced from a cause, it is a reason. And in such passages, those three profitable causes, three unprofitable causes, root causes, is a root cause, and that is called cause. The last is intended here. As to condition, paccaya, the word meaning here in this, the fruit comes from that, depending thereupon paticca, etasma iti, thus it is condition. Paccaya, meaning it is paticca is a state occurs by not dispensing with that. What is meant is when a state is indispensable in another state's presence for arising, the former is a condition for the latter. But as to the characteristic, condition has the characteristic of existing for any given state. There exists the presence of arising of a given state is called latter's condition. The words condition, cause, reason, source, originator, producer, etc. are one in meaning, though different in the latter. So it is the cause cause in the sense of a root, and condition in the sense of existence. Briefly, a state which that is existential in the sense of a root is a root cause condition. The intention of some teachers is that it establishes the profitable, etc. state in that is what is profitable, etc. as paddy seeds, etc. or due for paddy, etc., and as the color of the gems, etc., due for the luster of the gem, and so on. But if it is so, then it follows that a state of root cause condition does not apply to the kinds of materially originated by it, for it does not establish any profitableness, etc., in them. Nevertheless, it is a condition for them, for this is said. Root cause are the condition, as root cause condition for the states associated with the root cause and for the kinds of materiality originated thereby. Again, the indeterminateness of root cause, less consciousness is established without it, and the profitableness, etc., of those with the root cause is bound up with the wise attention, etc., not with associated with the root cause. And if the profitableness, etc., resided in the associate root causes as an individual essence, then either the non-greed bound up with the root cause its associate states would be any profitable, or it would be only indeterminate. But since it can be both, profitableness, etc., in the root causes must still be sought for, just as in associate states, just as wise attention and so on. But when the root cause the sense of root is taken as establishing stableness rather than as establishing profitableness, etc., there is no contradiction. For states that have obtained a root cause condition are firm, like trees, and stable, but those without root cause are like moss. The roots no longer then, sesame seeds, etc., unstable. So as assistant states may be understood as root cause conditions, since it establishes stableness through being the assistance in the sense of a root. 2. As to the others that follow, a state that exists by being an object is an object condition. Now there are no states that are not object condition. For the passage beginning, the visible database is a condition as object condition. For I, consciousness element concludes, thus when any states or states of consciousness and consciousness concomitants arise contingent upon any states, these latter states are conditions, the object condition for for those former states. For just as a weak man both gets up and stands by hanging onto a stick or a rope, so states of consciousness and consciousness concomitants always arise and are present contingent upon visible data, etc., as their object. Therefore, all states that are object of consciousness and consciousness concomitants should be understood as object conditions. Object condition. 3. The state that exists in the sense of being foremost is a predominant condition. It is of two kinds of connaissance as object. Herein, because of the passage beginning with predominance of zeal is a condition, as predominance condition for a state associated with zeal for the kinds of materiality originated thereby, it is four states called zeal. Purity of consciousness, energy, and inquiry that should be understood as predominant condition, but not stimulously for when consciousness occur with emphasis on zeal and putting zeal foremost, then it is zeal, not the others, that is predominant. So with the rest. But the state by giving importance to which immaterial states occur in their object predominance, here it is said, when any states as states of consciousness and consciousness concomitants arise by giving importance to any states, these states are conditions as predominance conditions for those former states. For those former states. 5. The state that assists by proximate is a proximity condition. A state that assists by being contiguous is a contiguous condition. The explanation of the pair of condition is very diffuse, but substantially it is thus. The regular order of consciousness begin thus. Mind element in proximate, next after eye consciousness, mind consciousness element is proximate, next after mind element, and this is established only by each preceding consciousness, not otherwise. Consequently, a state that is capable of arising an appropriate kind of consciousness proximate next to it is a proximity condition. Hence it is said, proximity condition, eye consciousness, and states associated therewith are a condition, a proximity condition for mind element, and for the states associated therewith. 5. Proximity condition is the same as contiguity condition. The difference here is only in the latter. There's none in the meaning, just as in the case of the words growth and continuity, etc., as in the sense of terminology, diet, language, diet, and so on. The opinion of certain teachers is that proximity condition refers to proximity of aim and a contiguity condition to proximity of time. But that is contradicted by each statement as the profitable consciousness belonging to the base consisting of neither perception nor non-perception in one who emerges from cessation is a condition, as contiguity condition for fruition attainments consciousness. Now, they say in this context that the ability of states to produce their fruit is not diminished, but the influence of meditative development prevents states from arising in proximity. But that only establishes that there is no proximity of time, and we also say the same, namely, that there is no proximity of time there owing to the influence of development. But since there is no proximity of time, the state of contiguity condition is therefore impossible, according to them, since their belief is that the contiguity condition depends on proximity of time. Instead of adopting any such misinterpretation, the difference should be treated as residing in the latter only, not in the meaning. How? There is no interval antara between them. Interval between them. Thus they are proximate. They are quite without interval, because even the distinction of co-presence is lacking. Thus they are contiguous samanatara. 6. A state that while arising assists the another state by making it arise together with itself is connaissance conditions, as a lamp is for illumination. With the immaterial aggregates, etc., it is sixfold, according as it is said. 1. The four immaterial aggregates are conditioned, are connaissance condition for each other. 2. The four great primaries are for each other. 3. At the moment of descent into womb, mentality and materiality are for each other. 4. The states of consciousness and its concomitants are for the kinds of materiality originated by consciousness. 5. The great primaries are for derived materiality. 6. Material states are sometimes as at rebirth linking condition, are connaissance condition, and sometimes as in the course of an existence, not a condition as connaissance conditions for immaterial states. This refers only to the heart basis. 7. A state that assists by means of nurturing, mutual arousing, and consolidating is mutuality condition. Mutuality condition, as the three sticks of a tripod give each other consolidating support. With the immaterial aggregates, etc., it is threefold. According as it is said, the four immaterial aggregates are conditioned as mutuality condition for each other. The four great primaries are conditioned as mutuality condition for each other at the moment of descent into the womb. Mentality and materiality are conditions as mutuality condition for each other. 8. A state that assists in the mode of foundation and in the mode of support is support condition, as the earth is for trees, the canvas for the paintings, and so on. It should be understood in the way stated for connaissance thus. Thus, the four immaterial aggregates are conditions as support conditions for each other, but the sixth instances has set forth in this way here, the I base as a condition, support conditions for the I consciousness elements, and for the states associated therewith, the I base, nose base, tongue base, body base as condition, as support condition for the body consciousness elements, and for the states associated therewith, the materiality with which as their support, the mind element and the mind consciousness element occur is a condition, as support condition for the mind element, for mind consciousness element, and the states associated therewith. 9. Decisive support condition. Firstly, there is the word meaning. It is treated as support, not dispensed with by its own fruit, because its own fruit existence is dependent on it. Thus, it is support. But just as great misery is despair, so great support is decisive support. There is a term for cogent reason. Consequently, a state that assists by being cogent reason should be understood as a decisive support condition. It is threefold, namely A. Objective decisive support, 2. Proximate decisive support, and 3. Natural decisive support condition. A. Firstly, object decisive support condition is set forth without differentiating it from objective predominance in the way beginning, having given a gift, having undertaken the precepts of virtue, having alone done the duties of uposatha. A man gives that importance and reviews it. He gives importance to former things well done and reviews them. Having emerged from jhana, he gives jhana importance and reviews it. Trainee give importance to the change of the lineage and reviews it. They give importance to the cleansing and review it. Trainers, having emerged from a path, gives importance to the path and review it. Herein, the object in giving importance to which consciousness and consciousness concomitant arise is necessarily a cogent one among these objects, so their difference may be understood in this way. Object predominance is, in the sense, what is to be given importance to. The object decisive support is the sense of a cogent reason. B. Also, proximate decisive support, the condition, is set forth without differentiating it from the proximity of condition in the way beginning. Any preceding profitable aggregates are conditions as a decisive support condition for any succeeding aggregate. But in the exposition there is a distinction, because in the exposition of the schedule that are given as a proximity in the way beginning, I consciousness element and the states associated there with condition, as a proximate condition the mind element for the states associated therewith, and as a decisive support in the way beginning. Any preceding profitable states are the condition as a decisive support condition for any succeeding profitable states, though it comes to the same thing as regards the meaning. Nevertheless, proximate may be understood as the ability to cause the occurrence of an approximate consciousness arising the proximate to itself, and decisive support as the preceding consciousness cogency in the arousing of the succeeding consciousness. For a while, in this case of the root cause and other such conditions, consciousness can arise actually without any of these conditions. However, there is no arising of consciousness without proximate consciousness to precede it, so this is a cogent condition. Their difference then may be understood in this way: proximate condition cause arouses an approximate consciousness proximate next to itself, while proximate decisive support condition is a cogent reason. C. As to the natural decisive support, the decisive support is natural, thus it is a natural decisive support. Faith, virtue, etc. produce in or climate, food, etc. habitual one's own continuity are called natural, or else it is a decisive support by nature. Thus it is a natural decisive support. The meaning is that it is unmixed with object and proximity. It should be understood as variously divided up in the way beginning natural decisive support. With faith and decisive support, man gives gift, undertakes the precepts of virtue, does the duties of uposatha, arouses jhana, arouses insight, arouses the path, arouses direct knowledge, arouses attainment. With virtue, with the learning, with the generosity, with understanding, as a decisive support, a man gives a gift, arouses an attainment. Faith, virtue, learning, general understanding are conditions as decisive support condition for the repeated arising of faith, virtue, listening, learning, generosity, understanding. So these things, beginning with faith, are natural decisive support, since they are both natural and decisive support in the sense of a cogent reason. 10. A state that assists by being present, having given previously, is a prenascence condition. It is 11-fold as physical basis and object in the fivefold doors, and as the heart basis, according to, as it is said, the eye base is a condition as a prenascence condition for the eye consciousness element, and for the states associated therewith, the ear base, knower base, tongue base, body base, the visible base data, sound base data, and order base data, flavor base. The tangible database is a condition, and a prenascent condition for the body consciousness element and for the state associated therewith. The visible database, the sound base, the order base, the flavor base, tangible database is a condition for prenascent condition and the mind element. The materiality with which as their support in mind element and mind consciousness element occur in a condition as prenascent condition and mind element, and for the state associated therewith, and it is sometimes as in the course of an existence or condition, as pre-nascence condition, sometimes as birth linking, not a condition as pre-nascence condition for the mind consciousness element and for the states associated therewith. 11. An immaterial state that, while present, assists pre-nascent material states also present. By consolidating them is post-nascent condition, like the volition of appetite for food, which assists the bodies of the vulture's young. Hence, it is said the post-nascent states of consciousness and its concomitants are conditions for post-nascent condition for the pre-nascent co-present bodily. 12. A state that assists the efficiency and power of the proximate next in the sense of repetition is a repetition condition, like repeated application to books and so on. It is threefold as profitable, unprofitable, and functional impulsion. For it is said, preceding profitable states are condition, a repetitive condition for succeeding profitable states, preceding unprofitable, preceding functional indeterminate states are conditioned as repetitive condition for succeeding functional indeterminate states. 13. A state that assists by means of actions called intervening of the consciousness is a karma condition. It is twofold as A, profitable and unprofitable volition acting from a different time, and B, as all connaissance volition, according as it is said, profitable and unprofitable karma is a condition, as karma condition for resultant aggregates and for the kinds of material due to karma performed. Connaissance volition is a condition as karma condition for associate states for the kinds of immateriality originated thereby. 14. A resultant state that, by effortless quiet, assists effortless quiet in other states is a karma result condition. In the course of an existence of a condition, its states originated by it and at birth rebirth linking for the kinds of materiality due to karma performed, and in both cases the associate states, according as it is said, one resultant indeterminate condition aggregates as a condition as karma condition for the three aggregates and for the kinds of materiality originated by consciousness. At the moment of rebirth linking, one resultant in indeterminate aggregate, it's a condition. The three aggregates are a condition. For one aggregates, two aggregates are a condition as karma resultant condition for two aggregates, and for the kinds of material due to the karma performed, aggregates are conditions as karma result conditions for the physical basis. 15. The four kinds of nutriment which assist material and immaterial states by consolidating them are nutriment conditions. According as it is said, physical nutriment is a condition as nutriment condition for his body. Immaterial nutriment are condition as a nutriment condition for associate states and for kinds of materiality originated by them. But in the question section it is said, at the moment of the rebirth linking resultant in determinate nutriments are conditions as nutriment condition for aggregate associate therewith for the kinds of materiality due to karma performed. 16. Leaving out the femininity and masculinity faculties, the 20 remaining faculties which assisting the sense of predominance are faculty conditions. Herein, the five, namely eye faculty, etc., are conditions only for immaterial states. The rest are conditions for the material and immaterial states, according as it is said. The eye faculty is a condition as faculty condition for the eye consciousness element and for the state for the states associated therewith. the ear faculty, the nose faculty, the tongue's faculty, and the body faculty is a condition as faculty condition for the body consciousness element, and for the states are associated therewith. The material life faculty is a condition, the faculty or condition for the kinds of materiality due to karma performed. The immaterial faculties are conditions as faculty condition, as states associated therewith, and the kinds of materiality originated thereby. But in the question section it is said, at the moment of rebirth, linkings resulting in indeterminate faculties are conditioned as faculty condition for associated aggregates and for the kinds of materiality due to karma performed. 17. All the 7 jhana factors class as profitable, etc., leaving out the pair, pleasant and painful feeling, in the case of 2 sets of consciousness, which factors assist the sense of constituting our states of jhana. The jhana condition, according to is said, the jhana factors are conditioned as jhana condition for the state associated with jhana and for the kinds of materiality originated thereby. But in the question section, it is said, at the moment of the rebirth, linking resultant in determinate jhana factors are a condition as jhana condition are for associate aggregates and for the kinds of materiality due to karma performed. 18. The 12 path factors class as profitable, etc., which assist the sense of an outlet from whatever it may be, are path conditions, according as it is said. The path factors are conditioned as path condition, as for state associated therewith, and for the kind of materiality originated thereby. Born in the question section, but in the question section it is said, but at the moment of rebirth, linkings resulting in determinate path factors are a condition as path conditions for aggregates associated therewith and for the kinds of immateriality due to karma performed. But these 2, namely jhana and the path conditions, should be understood as applicable to the 2 sets of 5 consciousness and to the consciousness without root cause. 19. Immaterial states that assist by kinds of associate consisting in having the same physical basis, same object, same arising, same cessation are association conditions, according as is said, the 4 immaterial aggregates as condition, as associate condition for each other. 20. The material states that assist immaterial states and immaterial states that assist material states are not having sameness of physical basis, etc., are dissociation condition. This is threefold as connaissance, postnascence, and prenascence. For this is said, connaissance profitable aggregates are a condition as a dissociation condition for the kinds of materiality originated by consciousness. Postnascence profitable mental aggregates are a condition of a dissociation condition for this prenascence body. But in the analysis of the connaissance in the indeterminate clause, it is said, at the moment of rebirth, linking resulting in determinate aggregates are a condition as a dissociation condition for the kinds of materiality due to karma performed. The aggregates are conditions in a dissociation condition for the physical basis as a physical base for the aggregates. But the prenascence should be understood as the eye faculty, etc., and the physical base, according as it is said. The prenascence eye base is a condition as a dissociation condition for eye consciousness. The body base is a condition as dissociation condition for body consciousness. The physical basis is a condition for a dissociation condition for resultant indeterminate and functional indeterminate aggregates. The physical basis is a condition as dissociation condition as profitable aggregates. The physical basis is a condition as dissociation condition for unprofitable aggregates. 21. A state that by means of existingness, characteristic by presence, exists, a like state of consolidating, it is a presence condition. A sevenfold summary is laid down for it according to immaterial aggregates, great primaries, materiality, consciousness and consciousness concomitants, great primaries basis and physical heart basis, according as it is said, the four immaterial aggregates are a condition as present condition for each other. The four great primaries are for each other. For at the time of descent into the womb, mentality and materiality are a condition as presence conditions for each other. The states of consciousness and consciousness concomitants are for the kinds of materiality originated by consciousness. The four great primaries are for derived materiality. The I base is for the I consciousness elements and for the states associated therewith. The ear base, nose base, tongue base, body base is for body conscious element. The visible data base is for the I consciousness elements. The sound data, sound base, odor base, flavor base. The tangible data base is condition as present condition for bodily consciousness element and for the state associated therewith. The visible data base, the sound data, sound base, odor base, the flavor base, tangible data base is condition as presence condition for the mind element and for the states associated with therewith. The materiality with which as their support the mind element and mind consciousness element occur is a condition, a presence condition and mind element, and for the mind consciousness element and for the states associated therewith. But in the question section, after setting forth connaissance, nascence, post-nascence, nutriment, and faculty, the description is given first under connaissance in the way beginning. One aggregate is a condition as present condition for three aggregates and for the materiality generated thereby. Under pre-nascence, the description is given according to the pre-nascence I and so on. Under post-nascence, the description is given according to the post-nascence consciousness and consciousness concomitants as conditions for this body. Under nutriments and faculties respectively, the description is given thus. The physical nutriment is a condition as a present condition for the body, and the material life faculty is a condition as present condition for materiality due to karma performance. 22. Immaterial states that by which ceasing in contiguity assist by giving opportunity to material states that arise approximately next after them are absence condition, according as it is said, states of consciousness and consciousness concomitants that have ceased in contiguity before are a condition as absence condition for present states of consciousness and consciousness concomitants. 23. These same states, because they exist by their disappearance, are disappearance condition, according as it is said, states of consciousness and consciousness concomitants that have disappeared in contiguity are a condition as a disappearing condition for present states of consciousness and consciousness concomitants. 24. The same states that are the present condition because they assist by their non-disappearance should be understood as a non-disappearance condition. This diet is stated as an embellishment of teaching to suit the needs of those who take a hole. What's that? It's a teacher hole. Teachable, is it? teacher all, teacher all. Just as in the Matika of the Dhamma Sangita, the disassociated from cause diet is given after the causeless diet. Okay, we're going to stop there. Wow, what a verbose text. Couldn't be more verbose than that. Thank you, everyone. So that's to the dedication of having your good mind and attention and interest and dedication, discipline, being with everyone, listening to this, and making me to read incredibly long texts with. And I can almost when I'm reading through those terms, I could imagine those Tibetan terms. I kept thinking, oh, this is this, oh, this is this. But then I can't really get the real sort of sense of it. In the English, it's a little bit. It's quite an incredible volume of terminology. Thank you very much, everyone. Bades mere me hovaraganda diva mejage homnes me ale beredo vivrandi oceano padade zenade herenda mahayana jiji vadeva mere me be kanzen lavas trehoda mahayana jiji courage manjure nyode azamanda bara de lava following oh de hezam ajade de de mere me de hezelen body jeda tebe mere na yadanza where has been bomering freely without the general. Teachable. Have you seen this word?
Teachable.
Is it teachable?
Yeah, I've got teachable.
Is it teachable?
No,
Oh, okay.
teachable.
Teachable.
The B is a bit.
B lost its head, so it looks like teachable. Teachable.
So this is never translated into Tibetan, Rinpoche?
This particular text, they are being translated.
Oh, really?
In Varanasi is a group of people doing that. But the terms are not.